How to raise your vibration permanently? The short answer is, to raise your vibration permanently, you need to heal your subtle energy body. In other words, your subtle energy system needs to be fully intact and well functioning. Before I explain what the subtle energy body is, how it gets damaged, and what you can do to restore it, I want to share a little bit about my background and where this information is coming from. All the information in this video is coming from my personal lived experience. More than 10 years ago, my Kundalini energy got active during meditation. And from that moment on, I became extremely sensitive to energy, both within myself and in my surroundings. Once the Kundalini energy got awakened, this intelligent healing force started to move through my body, and I quickly realized that many parts of my subtle energy body were damaged. Life force energy, also called prana or chi, wasn't flowing properly in specific areas of the subtle energy body. Later, I came to understand that the damage was connected to the mental health struggles I had faced for many years, like depression and anxiety. Through trial and error, and by gaining deeper understanding of how the system works, I found ways to restore wholeness. As a result, I was gradually able to stay in a high vibrational state for longer and longer periods of time. So as you can see, there is a direct connection between mental health, the health of the subtle energy body, and your ability to stay in a high vibrational state permanently. So let's get into it. So first, what is the subtle energy body? The subtle energy body or subtle energy system is what carries your life force energy through your body. Different cultures have different names for this energy. It's called prana or chi. This system includes all the chakras and energy channels, energy pathways, also called nadis or meridians. It is similar in some ways to physical systems in the body. Why does a healthy subtle energy system help you to stay in a high vibrational state? To answer this, we first need to look at what is damaging the subtle energy body. Of course, also the usual things that harm the physical body. These also affect the subtle energy body. Of course, everything is connected. The physical body and the subtle energy body influence each other in both ways. But the biggest source of damage for the subtle energy system is fear and fear-based emotions. Chronic fear, anxiety, and emotional triggers are a major cause of blockages in the subtle energy system. The more emotional triggers you have, the more likely it is that parts of your subtle energy body are damaged. Fear-based energy that doesn't get released becomes stuck, usually in the chakras, and this stuck energy reduces the flow of life force energy in the system. In my case, the heart chakra and the chakras in the head were the most damaged. When these different areas of your subtle energy body are blocked, it is going to reduce the flow of vitality. You're not able to be in a high vibrational state. It's like trying to drive a car that is falling apart and has many issues. Once you repair the car, even if it is not brand new, the experience is going to be much better driving it. You can see what a high-functioning energy system looks like in healthy children. They're full of energy, their emotions pass quickly, and their system hasn't been overloaded yet. That state of flow, lightness, natural joy is what we return to when we restore wholeness in the system. How do you heal the subtle energy system? The healing process has two parts. First, creating wholeness. Second part is to maintain that wholeness. Let's start with creating wholeness. This is a deep and personal process, and how long it takes depends on how much damage you have in the system. The short version is this. You create wholeness by first expanding your awareness and then revisiting the past, bringing this expanded awareness into every part of your inner world, of your past memories. We revisit not just the past memories that caused us pain, but also every other memory. So all memories have to be revisited with this expanded awareness. Once you had a spiritual awakening, you begin to access a new level of consciousness. Even if it fluctuates, and it's going to fluctuate in the beginning especially, you slip back into old patterns. After the awakening, your awareness can never truly unsee the truth. This awareness, this new level of consciousness, stays with you. And the more you expand it, the faster and more effective your healing becomes. It's kind of like working out. You strengthen your spiritual muscle. You can strengthen this spiritual muscle with following practices: lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences, meditation, studying spiritual knowledge, exploring the nature of oneness. Understanding on an intellectual level, but also experiencing oneness for yourself is especially powerful, a powerful tool in the healing process. The more you internalize and understand oneness, the more it's going to be reflected in yourself. Because ultimately, healing means to restore oneness within yourself, inside your body and inside your mind. Now, how to maintain a high vibration? Healing and maintaining wholeness happens at the same time. As you heal, as you live your life, you're going to face challenges. You're going to face situations that challenge you. But every time you handle a stressful moment without falling back into old patterns, you updating your system. If you used to get triggered by something, but now you stay calm, that is real progress and is helping the whole system, the physical, non-physical system, to restore the state of wholeness. You maintain a high vibrational state by acting as your expanded self, the one who sees with greater awareness. For a while, it might feel like a seesaw between your old self and your higher self, the new expanded self. But in time and with practice, the higher self becomes more dominant. In scientific terms, this is called neuroplasticity. I want to share some facts about neuroplasticity at this point that are relevant to this video. Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to rewire itself by forming new neural pathways. Each time you react differently, you're overwriting old patterns with new ones. Old pathways don't completely disappear, but if they're not used, they're weakened. Just like, for example, a trail in the forest becomes overgrown when no one walks it anymore. Over time, your awareness starts to follow the new trails. Being more of your true self, of this expanded self, is going to help you to regulate your emotions better. As I mentioned earlier, fear-based emotions are what damages the subtle energy body the most. Emotional regulation is a key thing in maintaining the health of the subtle energy body. It's not about never feeling negative emotions, it's about how long you hold on to them. If you're holding on to a negative emotion more than a few minutes, they usually get stuck. Emotions are information. Once it is received and understood, there's no longer purpose for it, and it can move through the subtle energy system. Another very helpful thing is to be mindful of what you consume. This applies not just to food and physical toxins, but also to mental and emotional input. At this point, I want to share another fact about the brain. The brain can't clearly distinguish between something you are experiencing yourself and something that you're just witnessing. Like in movies and media, an emotional and energetic response happens either way. Because of my heightened sensitivity, I can literally feel the effect of certain media on my chakras. If I consume media, watch movies, watch the news, or any media that makes me feel low vibrational emotions, fear-based emotions, I can feel the subtle energy. I can feel certain parts of the subtle energy body certain chakras, pumping this cocktail of emotions into the system. It's a little bit like squeezing a fruit, like an orange or something. So the moment I experience this event, the moment I witness it, this cocktail of low vibrational energy is pumped, squeezed into the system, and it lingers there for a while. And if you're not skilled in removing and letting this energy move through the subtle energy body, it's going to get stuck. So be mindful, especially in the beginning of your healing journey. And if you don't have the skills to remove those energies quickly, be mindful of what you're consuming. To sum it up, permanent high vibration comes from healing your subtle energy body. It is done by letting go of what is blocking the flow of energy, mainly fear and emotional baggage. As you grow in awareness, stay present, do the healing work in the past, work with your memories, your natural energy is going to rise. We all have access to this natural flow of well-being. It is just underneath all of this garbage. It is really about returning to who you've always been underneath all of this. Okay, that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye.